at the Sturgis Biker Rally in South Dakota, the most famous biker gathering in the world. It was the 50th anniversary of the rally, and the outlaws, who rarely attended, showed up in force.
We knew the outlaws were there. Everybody was in orders to travel in groups to avoid any kind of conflicts. We were ready to fight if we had to, but we weren't going looking for it.
Nick Nichols spent most of his time looking for women. Other sons were looking to kill outlaws.
And they found what they were looking for.
The outlaws were in a bar on Main Street in Sturgis called Gunners, getting along, drinking. Two Sons of Silence members start to go in, and an outlaw confronts them at the door, says, "Can't come in here." And they basically said, "Yeah, we're coming in."
They're just two of the people that like to go out and start.
The battle was on. The outlaw was shot, and the two sons were stabbed before fleeing on foot.
And the Sons of Silence jumped over the motorcycles, got into the middle of the street, and ran several blocks down the street where police found them.
Leonard J.R. Reed, who had been the Sons' national president for a decade, started to think the war with the outlaws was misguided.
J.R. wasn't looked at as a violent man. He was more of a calming effect, if anything. He tried to solve problems with other clubs with diplomacy as much as he could.
Reed believed that law enforcement was the Sons' true enemy, not the outlaws.
I mean, the feds would love it. You know, like I say, whoever doesn't die, they get to arrest.
The law enforcement agencies don't think we have a right to exist because we're bikers.
In the mid-1990s, J.R. started the Colorado Confederation of Clubs to try to stop the biker wars. Nick Nichols was the co-chairman of the organization.
I believed in what was going on, what we were doing, because they all want the same thing. They want to wear their patches, they want their little slice of the pie, they want to be left alone.
Big Larry saw the Confederation as a show of force.
If we all joined forces, every club, every chapter in the nation, they'd have to bring in army to cool us down.
J.R. Reed's Confederation succeeded in ending the war with the outlaws. But it didn't succeed in getting law enforcement to lay off. By 1997, ATF agent Blake Boatler had infiltrated the Colorado Springs chapter and was prepared to take the gang down.
That became a challenge to me because the Sons of Silence consider themselves the baddest of the bad.
Colorado Springs. The outlaw motorcycle gang, Sons of Silence, runs this city through intimidation and force. The club's rules are its doctrine, its patch, its most sacred image.
I love my mother. I would do anything to keep my patch on my back. I would damn near kill my mom to keep it.
To get his patch, a biker has to go through a rigorous rite of passage designed to weed out the weak. Before a biker can become a member, he must be a prospect.
As a prospect, you're required to do whatever a patch-wearing member tells you to do.
The Sons of Silence take no mercy on their prospects, hazing them relentlessly.
The Sons of Silence are kind of a throwback in the outlaw motorcycle gang world. They like to punch the prospects in the mouth, headbutt them, kick them, do those kind of things, and just run them hard.
Come on, Spec! If they holler for a prospect, you better get there quick. You don't kind of stumble over there, you run.
Whatever you're told to do, you have to do. If it's pick up a dog turd off the floor and eat the you gotta do it.
Big Larry says prospects aren't required to break the law.
because it's not their job. They're not a brother. They're not a patch holder. You don't ask prospects to do anything illegal.
There is a loose interpretation of what illegal actually means.
One of the duties is to help out patch holders get whatever they want, but also to assault anyone that they tell you to assault.
When undercover agent Blake Bowler was prospecting, a patched member ordered him to go after a civilian who was bothering him at a motorcycle rally.
He said, "Prospect, go clock that guy," which in our vernacular means go knock him out. If I don't do what he says, I'm gonna get boot stomped.
Blake had just seconds to figure out his next step. If he broke the law, it would mean the end of his case.
So, as I approach this individual, he sees me coming. He's got a bottle of liquor up to his mouth, and he's just holding it there, watching me approach him. And at this time, I had a 3D self flashlight, and I pulled that out. And just as I got to him, I swung with all that I was worth, and I just hit that bottle right below his chin.
The bottle flew out of the guy's hand, and he toppled over. Blake hadn't actually touched him, but hoped he'd made enough of a scene.
One of the national vice presidents saw me and told me, "Prospect, get over here." He stared at me for a second or two, and then he said, "Good job," and then get out and get to work. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Only after a prospect makes it through these hurdles and is voted in by 100% of the chapter membership does he get his patch. The Sons award them yearly at Sturgis, their most important mandatory run. It's the members' last chance to torment the prospects, and they make the most of it, even dragging them through the fields in a shovel race. Then the club offers the patch, but only if the prospect can take it away from the entire group.
That's about the only time in the club where you're pretty much free to hit anybody. President, enforcer, how bad do you want that patch?
Once he's patched in, the new member goes out for his first ride in full colors. Only then is he introduced to the other traditions and rules of the Sons of Silence. The gang's first law is for those who violate their rules. It's called punishment.
If you screw up, I mean, it used to say in their old bylaws, it was a beating. That's the punishment. You took a beating.
It ain't no little girls club, man. This is man's club. You're gonna up, you're gonna take the man punishment. You don't want to take that? Take your little squat ass out the door.
Each chapter has an enforcer who keeps people in line. In addition to enforcers, every chapter has a president, a vice president, and a treasurer. There are also national officers who oversee everyone, though they are spread across the Sons Nation. And then there's the gang's Special Forces unit, the Nomads.
We have a nomad chapter. If things cannot be done by the enforcers or the chapters of their state, town, or whatever, the nomads will come in.
The Nomads are the Grim Reaper. No one wants to see them coming.
It's a death squad. They will take anybody out. No hesitation, no heartbeat, no blink of an eye. They would just literally you up and kill you.